The year is 1997. The place is Charlotte, North Carolina, and the company, Loomis Fargo, a cash-handling establishment entrusted with millions. In the heart of the bustling city, Loomis Fargo was a behemoth that dealt in the business of trust and protection of finances. They handled hefty sums of money, moving it securely from one place to another, their reputation built upon a solid foundation of reliability and discretion. Enter our main protagonists, David Gant, Kelly Campbell, and Steve Chambers. Gant, a vault supervisor, was a man of routine with a job that appeared mundane to the untrained eye. Campbell, a former Loomis employee, was known for her charisma and resourcefulness. Chambers, a friend of Campbell's, was a man with a knack for seeing opportunities where others saw risks. Each of them played a key role within the company, maintaining the intricate balance of trust and security. Little did they know, their lives were about to take a dramatic turn. Behind the scenes, the daring plot was being hatched. This was no spontaneous crime of opportunity with Gant, acting as the inside man. He knew the ins and outs of the company's operations, the daily routines, and most importantly, the vault. His job was to get past the security systems and into the vault without raising any alarms. Then there was Campbell. She was the one who first planted the seed of the idea in Gant's mind. Her role? Acting as the liaison between Gant and the mastermind, Chambers. As the brains of the operation, he was the one who refined the initial idea into an actionable plan. Chambers knew the risks, and he knew they needed a flawless execution if they wanted to pull this off. They knew the risks were high. If caught, they would face serious jail time. But the potential rewards were too tempting. $17.3 million. That kind of money could change their lives forever. The stakes were immense, the plan was set, and their motivations were clear. Though it wasn't just about the money, it was about challenging the system, about proving that they could outsmart the security measures of one of the largest cash-handling companies in the world. With the plan set, all they needed was the perfect moment to strike. This heist was the ultimate test of their courage, their cunning, and their tenacity. October 4th, a night that would go down in infamy. The stage was set. The Loomis Fargo vault, a fortress designed to safeguard millions, was about to be breached. Gant, our insider, trusted vault supervisor, and linchpin of this insane plan. Walking through the facility's thick steel doors for his daily shift, little did his colleagues know that he was on a mission that would shake the security world to its core. The vault was a labyrinth of corridors and locked doors, but Gant navigated it with ease. He knew every nook and cranny, every secret passage. He was the proverbial fox in the henhouse. The plan was simple, yet daring. Gant was to fill the company van with cash bags, but this was no ordinary cash pickup. He was about to make off with millions of dollars. The sheer nerve of the act was mind-boggling. As he loaded bags into the van, the vault echoed with the sound of his heart pounding against his ribcage. Each bag he lifted weighed heavy with the gravity of his actions, but there was no turning back now. Meanwhile, Chambers and Campbell, Gant's co-conspirators, were waiting anxiously in the getaway car. Each passing minute must have been an eternity. The tension palpable. Finally, Gant emerged, driving the van filled to the brim with riches. The sight was a relief, but the heist was far from over. They had to somehow disappear into the night without leaving a trace. The trio drove off, leaving the Fargo facility behind. Their hearts raced as they weaved through the quiet city streets. Every headlight would have been seen as an imagined pursuer, but they made it through the night undetected. The plan had worked, for now. The heist had been successful. By the time the sun rose, they were $17.3 million richer. However, they were now criminals on the run. In the immediate aftermath of the Loomis Fargo heist, David, Kelly, and Steve found themselves swept up in a whirlwind of adrenaline and fear. Gant, the man who had physically carried out the heist, knew he was a marked man. With the law hot on his heels, he made the decision to escape to Mexico, trying to blend into the local culture while simultaneously avoiding the prying eyes of American law enforcement. The sun-soaked beaches and vibrant nightlife were a far cry from his previous life as a vault supervisor, but beneath the surface of this seemingly idyllic escape, tension simmered. He was a man constantly looking over his shoulder, forever on the edge of being discovered. Meanwhile, back in the United States, Campbell and Chambers were living the high life. They had taken their share of the millions and were spending it like there was no tomorrow. Luxurious homes, ostentatious jewelry, and high-end vehicles became their new normal. They reveled in their newfound wealth, basking in the spoils of their historic crime. But as they spent, they drew attention to themselves. A sudden and extravagant lifestyle raised eyebrows. It was a stark contrast to their previous lives, and it didn't take long for people to start asking questions. Their spending spree was a beacon, illuminating their guilt in the dark sea of suspicion. The irony of it all was that while they were living the dream, they were also crafting their own nightmare. Each dollar spent brought them closer to the inevitable downfall. They were building a house of cards on a foundation of stolen money, and it was only a matter of time before it all came crashing down. Their lives had become an unknowing cat-and-mouse game with the law. Every day was a gamble, a risky dance with fate. They had chosen a life on the run, a life of constant fear and uncertainty. In the end, the thrill of the heist and the allure of the loot had led them down this path from which there was no return. But as they say, crime doesn't pay. Before long, the FBI was hot on their trail. The Bureau, known for its relentless pursuit of justice, had a reputation to uphold. The heist had not only stolen millions of dollars, but it had also stolen the peace of mind of many. The FBI's investigation was meticulous and exhaustive. They pored over surveillance footage, traced money trails, and followed up on every lead. The clues were scattered, but each one was a piece of the puzzle just waiting to be put in its place. The scope of the investigation was vast, stretching across borders and continents. The heist had made international headlines, and the FBI's pursuit was equally global. They worked in tandem with international authorities, sharing information and coordinating efforts. With the FBI closing in on their lavish spending, the pressure was mounting. The robbers were running out of places to hide, and the net was closing in. However, in the end, their past caught up with them. The law's long arm was never too far behind David, Kelly, Steve, and 5 others directly embroiled in covering up this web of a heist. One by one, they were apprehended and faced the consequences of their undertaking. The court proceedings were swift, and each of the 8 criminals was convicted, marking the end of their ill-gotten freedom. But it wasn't just those at the heart of the heist who paid the price. 16 others who indirectly aided this criminal endeavor found themselves ensnared in the justice system's net. Their involvement, whether minor or significant, led to their downfall, a stark reminder that crime, in all its forms, inevitably faces retribution. As for the stolen millions, the vast majority found its way back to where it belonged. Approximately 88% of the stolen money was recovered, a testament to the relentless efforts of the investigators. The money, much like the criminals, couldn't stay hidden forever. A chapter closed on one of the most impactful heists in American history. Their lives of crime were over, but the story of the robbery is far from forgotten. So what can we learn from this tale of criminal history? The audacious act left an indelible imprint on society, forcing us to question the nature of security, crime, and even our own human instincts. It served as a stark reminder of our fallibility and the lengths individuals may go when driven by desperation or greed. But it also underscored the relentless pursuit of justice and the unwavering resilience of law enforcement. One thing is certain, the Loomis Fargo heist will continue to captivate for years to come.